Fans, my name is Kris Kloss, and I want to welcome you all to yet another exciting edition of Xtreme Memories right here on YouTube, right here on the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. What do? 4 things: you like, you comment, you share, you subscribe. 1, 2, like, share. Yeah, comment, share, subscribe. 4 things: like, share, comment, subscribe to the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. So, gotta talk about these watch-alongs. Yeah, reaction videos. They have been great. Excuse me, I'm a little choked up because of how great they've been. They've been extraordinary. Of course, we started this venture back in 2020 when the old masks were on, the pandemic. Oh, stay inside. Don't talk to the neighbor mowing the lawn, the mailman coming by. Hey, keep your distance. All that garbage, all that crap. When that was going on, we started this. Hey, what do we have anything else to do? What else do we have better to do than Xtreme Memories? And we went down that rabbit hole. We went down memory lane, and we had all sorts of guests, pretty much everybody that we could at least get on and get a hold of and reach out to us, get on the show, the whole gamut of stars from XPW, everything XPW right here, Xtreme Memories. Well, transition that a little bit, still Xtreme Memories, now a version of the Watchalongs, and these have been a lot of fun. And we ain't done yet, let me tell you. Today, we have, and by the way, there are a ton of episodes up on YouTube. I want to thank everybody, a couple guys that have been putting all these episodes up on YouTube. It's great for the fans, and it's also great for us that used to work at XPW. So without any further ado, I'm going to welcome our guest in right now. He was one of the guys that was, you saw him every once in a while, but he was more behind the scenes. We'll talk about that. Also talk about his career because we have some plugs from him today, but also what he was doing before XPW. We interviewed him, of course, before. We'll touch on that a little bit before we start watching along here. He is John Weber. He is the old stepfather. Welcome on in, John Weber. There you are, pal. Hey.
Hey, Kris. How you doing, pal?
Doing good, man. I love how we pretend that we haven't seen or talked to each other, because before we went on, it was like, "Yeah, how's it going?" for about 20
minutes. Blah.
Yeah. How you doing, though? Good to see you, man.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much for having me back on the show, man. I love being on the last time.
Oh, we loved having you, and it's our pleasure, my friend. I mean, you and I, man, we met, we met at the LA Sports Arena for the first time. I want to say it was at the Go Funk Yourself show.
It was.
And yes, and you were in the midst of working for the FX network, and you were doing the X show. I want to touch on that a little bit. I know we talked all about that on your interview, but you were hosting a pretty big show at the time that was on the FX network, rivaling the Man Show. And
right.
And so that was big time to us. But I remember we were like, wow, this John Weber from the X Show, and then the boys, before I met you, he's like, I forget who it was, but he's like, yeah, but he's saying, wow, it's the XPW guys. So yes. It was, yeah, and it was like, oh, what, he's saying that, and so that was a great meeting, and that kind of led into which we talked about, which was XPW almost finding a home on the FX network at the time.
Yes.
And that I don't know if you guys were there because the meetings had already started. I know this is a Kevin Kleinrock question, or if you guys come in and FX being there, if that's what started that idea. I don't know. I don't know if you know. Can't remember if you knew that or not.
I can tell you an anecdote or two about that, because things would.
Because I want to say, I'm sorry, John. I would please.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
To say this is one of those nuggets in XPW history that doesn't really get thought about much, and I think it's a very interesting part of the XPW history. That little nugget that no one ever really knows about, talks about, or even remembers is we almost going to the FX network and how that would have changed everything. And
huge. It would
yeah.
have been a huge deal. Absolutely. One of the things that was going on with FX was they had been like the MASH rerun channel for a long time. They'd had a lot of Beverly Hills 90210. A lot of that stuff was going on, which is so funny to get hired to be like, you're a man's man. You're going to be doing guy stuff and doing all this guy stuff. And here's a free Beverly Hills 90210 hoodie. Like,
right.
oh, thanks, dude.
right.
That's nice.
Right.
But they decided they were going to be the man network.
Right.
That was, and our show, they would call our show like the show for men and the women who put up with them.
Right. I remember that. Yes.
And there was this whole like Lad magazine thing going on at the time, and Men Behaving Badly was like an English show, but also an American show. Like that whole attitude was changing FX.
Right.
And so I know they were looking at XPW and going, this is insane. This is wild. And it's going on right now. And we should probably try to get a piece of this wrestling craziness that's going on, because of course the Attitude Era had led right up to that. Our show started in 99.
Yes. And that's when XPW started.
Yeah. And so, we were all like, fired in the same furnace of controversy and in your faceness and all of this wild stuff going on. But I will tell you this. I would always pitch, and I was working with a producer who was a super awesome guy, Chris, and different awesome Chris. And he had, he knew everything. He loved wrestling. He was just putting it all on the line. And he was really into adult films. And so he created a thing for the show called the Triple X Show. And that was basically Siskel and Ebert for adult films. And it was me. That's an area of expertise of mine as well. And one of our models, Ashley, who loved adult content, and you notice I'm being very careful about the words I'm using.
Sure.
But she loved the VHSs. And the two of us would do it on the show, and we would do some Extreme Associates stuff.
That's cool. Yes.
And so we were kind of familiar with the company. We were familiar with some of the people from the company. But yeah, I'll tell you this. At one point, I was pushing for more wrestling on the show, and my producer was as well. Mm-hmm. And our exec producer sat us down, and he said, the Murdochs barely know that this show exists. If we do more wrestling, which they hate, then they will know us in a bad way.
Right.
So we have to really kind of ripple it through and not let it seem so obvious, which led to me going to wrestling school for a story. We were going to do a piece on the show about I go to wrestling school. I get in a show. I think we were going to put me in a match, and I think Supreme was going to come in for the save. I was going to get my ass beat, and Supreme was going to come in and save me, and then it was going to go back to XPW. XPW would have just a little bit of X show on it, and then I'd be gone in like a day, and then hooray, everything worked out. But it, of course, did not work out.
Yeah, the rest is history. Well, it's funny. Like, it just reminded me, like, when you're talking about the network people coming in and putting the kibosh on something wrestling, and like that's what we ended up going through in a totally different way with Wrestling Society X and MTV. Like, it was just for some reason the networks. It's like even when wrestling's popular, the networks. All right, because it's popular, we'll go with it. But let's try to kill it so something else can be popular, so we don't have to deal with it. Where now it's a totally different game. Now you have a whole corporation that owns WWE, so it's almost become this thing that's not the wrestling isn't that league that has to prove itself, and it's not the little engine that could anymore. Now it's part of this corporate conglomerate world. So we were definitely in it before all that transpired. We were in there, those gritty old school days, even though that may have been kind of the end of the wave. That's when we were still in it, you know. And XPW was, man, that was as gritty as you get, and as far as anything, also having mainstream recognition. So because of the money, because of the exposure and all the advantages we had, right? With the basically a movie studio we had, with the edit base, with all that, it was all those advantages ready to go. Well, John, we're gonna go ahead and get our YouTube Wrestling Chatter official randomizer today. We are going to pick from an episode that's on YouTube from number 10 to 1, I believe it's 120, our producer said. And because we're going to let the randomizer pick it. Now, if we do run into an episode that we already watched, we'll go ahead and do the randomizer again. Here it is, the official Wrestling Chatter, sponsored by Google, but it's the official Wrestling Chatter randomizer. I want to thank our sponsor, Google, for
great sponsor, man.
Yeah, but by the way, we got to talk to them at Google, because they actually put their logo on there. It's supposed to be the Wrestling Chatter logo.
No, what are they doing?
Yeah. Hey, Shaq,
34.
Shaq Daddy, it is. Number 34. Let's see what we have in store for number 34. And I don't think we watched this one yet. Is that, do I detect a little NC? I think that was the voice right there of either Sulu or NC. If I maybe I'm wrong, but those flashbacks are coming back now. All right, guys, folks, thank you again for joining us.
No, Sulu.
Yes, it's him. It's NC. You know,
This show was insane.
It's ridiculous.
It opens on that statue of an African-American Santa Claus.
Yes,
it opened on that.
That's the more proper way to say his name. Yeah.
I do my best.
So okay, this was let's get some audio to start this up. But folks, thank you again for joining us. If you're listening to audio only, go ahead and go to YouTube, go to XPW episode number 34, and with your volume down, and if you don't have premium, get your commercials out of the way. And when I count down, simultaneously hit play right when I hit 0. All right, Mr. Weber, Mr. Stepfather, sir, good to see you. Are you ready, my friend?
I'm ready. Ready.
And we hope NC is ready as well. And by the way, we didn't get everybody on those interview segments of Xtreme Memories, but NC, if you're out there, I'd love to have you on the show.
Oh, he's a get.
Yeah, we got to get you, pal. Okay, so let's do this. XPW TV. Then this was from December 9th in the year 2000. We are almost 25 years since this episode. Okay, so we're going to watch episode number 34, XPW TV, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, Sulu, let me tell you about what's going on in the next couple of weeks. Oh, and you see, why did not we have explosion matches? Well, you see, it's part of the grand scheme of things. Hey, yo, what's going on? Oh, who are you? I'm Rolo. Oh, you are Rolo. Oh, my God, what you got there? Hey there, Rolo. You ought to put that away. Where the hell did you come from? You are crazy, man. Oh, you are very, very, very scary with that thing. That could poke someone's eye out. Don't you understand, little man? You can't come around here. Rolo, what do you do? Hey, yo, you know, I'm a real hard worker, you know, and I was just wondering if maybe I could get a job in XPW, you know, and maybe I could. What? You always say when I interrupt and
trying not to interrupt.
All right, but you still interrupt. When you stand and you look at me, you're interrupted. You know, you're standing there, you're looking. You're standing there, you're looking. I'm over here, and I'm talking. I'm having a conversation. You're looking. You don't have to say nothing, but you interrupted me. You're there. You're there. Okay?
I'll go now.
No, you're already here. You already f***ed up my flow. What? What do you want?
Poor Kevin. Oh my God.
Say hello to Rolo? It's Rolo.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Hey, yo.
Is that legal?
I gotta
What the
wonder.
hell is wrong with Rolo? He's cool, man. Let me sit Rolo over here. Oh, don't put Rolo next to me. He hit me in the ear. Sulu, don't talk to Rolo like that. He just makes me nervous with that thing, and he might poke me, and, you know.
Hey, yo. I'm not feeling crazy.
What? Go ahead, what?
Oh,
No,
God.
it's just a fun-loving bed over here.
What's my type? Me. What do I do for you? What am I here to do?
Do a lot of things.
Yeah.
What?
Oh God, I love it.
Am I not your vice president of operations?
Yes, you're my vice
Well,
president.
you're making it hard for me to operate when you're canceling shows. What the hell happened to December 3rd? Supposed to be Sabu, Onita, exploding ring match. Nothing's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out, no information, and then all of a sudden, like a week before, I find out it ain't going on. What's the story? I know you always got some kind of a plan. The cogs, sometimes they turn, sometimes they don't go all the way to the top. But what's going on, Mr. Black?
I can't clean my ears, man. You don't get it.
A black man.
What don't I get? Tell me.
It.
I don't get it.
I got it.
You got it.
You don't got it.
I don't get it. What is it?
That, Kevin, that's something special. Okay? But I'll give it to you. Doesn't mean you got it. I'm giving it to you. Someone gives it to you, don't mean you got it. Okay? You understand? But someday you'll got it.
As long as I get it for right now.
All right, you'll get it. I'm happy. Okay? The grand scheme of things. Okay? Exploding match. So, yeah, great. Okay. Now, the goal here is the Messiah. The goal is the Messiah to be the XPW World Heavyweight Champion. That's the goal. Okay? He's done it. Remember we had that tournament? He hit him with the Godsmack, Sabu, hit the ref, covered him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A lot of counts. He was champion 3 times over. Okay? He didn't get it. He didn't get it.
But you get it.
I got it. We're going to give it to him. He's going to get that belt. Because in a broader spectrum, right now, that belt means more to Sabu and Lazy than anything.
Granted.
All right. Once we take that belt from them, they have nothing left except their own self-worth and pride. And that's when Onita comes in and takes it. Because they got it, but they won't have it after Onita takes their heads. Okay, both of them. Rams them against that electronic explosion, whatever that hell them Korean deathmatch things are. You know, the Filipino, what is it? Japanese. What did I tell you? What? Tell me.
Oh God.
You consider them
All the same. All the same. Okay? All the same. You are very right. We are all one in the same. Thank you, Sulu. Thank you. All right? So, did I tell you? I didn't tell you. You want to hear it now?
I thought I got it now.
I didn't give it all to you. I save a little back. I don't give it all. You
That
know?
is the magic
I
of
don't
Rob.
give it all. I never give it all.
Yeah.
You can't ever give it all and have that person full with the guy. Okay, you got to keep a little back. January 13th,
And on January 13th,
we're back.
we're back.
January 13th, Reseda, California.
Really?
All right? The show of all shows.
You're not going to go canceling this one on me, too.
No. It ain't going to be canceled.
All right?
Okay? Next week,
Reseda. That one
all
happened,
the
right?
fine details. tickets, okay? Location. We got the location.
Let me
I got the tickets, okay? But I want the build up. I want Lazy and Sabu right now to know that this is going down. So they stew about it. So they worry about it. So for all week they go, what the hell's going on? What's going on? Because Sabu's gonna defend that belt that night. Sabu's gonna lose the belt that night. Okay.
I like it.
You like that?
I like it.
Don't I always got an idea?
Always
Don't I
got
always
an
got a
idea.
plan? And why is that? Why?
You are Mr. Black.
But what's more important? What do I have? Obi-Wan Kenobi has the Force. What do I have? It.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
Came back around. I like that.
January 13th, Reseda, California. That's it.
That's it. I got it. That's it.
January 13th.
All right.
Whoa. I got something else for you. Got a present while we were off. You know, Thanksgiving. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Wonderful.
A
Thanksgiving.
lot of turkey.
A lot of turkey.
I cooked.
You cook.
I cooked. You probably didn't think I knew how to cook. I know how to cook.
Impressed.
Why? Because I have it. Exactly. Got you a shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Here it is, my friend. What do you think?
What the hell is that?
What the hell is that? 100% Negro.
Very lovely shirt.
100% Negro. I'm Rob Black. Black, Negro, Black. 100%. You're me, baby. You're going to have it. You now are 100% Negro.
That's really great, Kevin.
100% Negro.
So you want me to give this to the West Siders?
West Siders, baby. You got it. 100% Negro. 100% Rob Black. Black, Negro, Black. One and the same. Spanish, baby. We're in California. Spanish is the first language, for Christ's sake. Negro. All right?
Okay.
There you go.
What am I supposed to do with this?
What do you do with a shirt? You're not going to dry yourself.
You want me to wear this?
What do you mean you're going to wear it? My ass kick. Who's going to kick your ass? You tell them that you're with Rob Black. 100% Negro. Okay? Rob Black, 100% Negro. That's all you tell them. No ass kicking going on, my friend. Don't you worry about it. 100% Negro. Now go. I want to see that shirt later. I'm going to hang out with Rolo.
I love that shirt, Kevin. Maybe me and you can get together later.
I love it.
All right, man. Okay, we usually are going to be talking when the volume's down, but we had to watch. No. I'm just with the volume's up, we did fine there. But thank you. But what I mean is,
Oh my God.
we talk mostly over these when it's volumes down like this, but we had to get that in for context. We had
Yes.
And
Let everybody know
amusement.
what's going on in the universe.
And I know things were different in 2000, but how the hell were we even on TV?
There was a time of, and this is going to be a very big word for it, but I think it's appropriate. It was a time of transgression.
Yeah.
Of being offensive, and as you say, gritty and brutal. I mean, we can just see that from the reel here.
Right.
The violence, we don't care. There was so much we don't care.
Yes.
And that fueled the machine. Frankly.
It's funny, like we talked about Rivera and I and Montasico. We've talked a lot about just our roles, and I think I can speak for everybody in their role, is that for better or for worse, you can say what XPW's legacy or whatever. But one thing that you cannot take away was we were never restricted. We had the freedom to do and say whatever we wanted. And like you said, the I don't care, I don't give a fuck attitude was so pervasive and prevalent in this company that it was almost like if you came off like you did care, what the hell's wrong with you? We got to get rid of this guy kind of thing.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a dorkiness level to being worried about things, being careful about things. And Kleinrock is a perfect example, pardon me, of that angel on the shoulder. You know,
Yeah.
Kevin always wanted everything to be on the up and up and be as successful as it could be. And Rob was this artist of mayhem, both in wrestling and in his adult content, but in his, you know, in how he talked to people, how he dealt with people.
Yeah.
He was a wild man. So the fact that he's doing all that voice work is not surprising at all. That's exactly what Rob was. That's
Right.
how he entertained people. That's how he entertained himself. And of
Yeah.
course, he loved this company. He loved
Oh,
putting on
yeah.
shows. He
Hell,
loved being-
we all love this company, man. Like it was such a thrill. It was an honor to be a part of a wrestling outfit that was this grand and this big. And again, I always touch on when we started, it was great. But it, like, the game completely changed once we got TV. Come on, it was television. This was now we're not just doing the wrestling. We're like, because there was no guarantee at first when XPW started that we were going to get on TV, and then we did, and then when Rob ended up like, I don't even need commercials, I'm going to pay for it, you know, and he didn't want commercials. And then our sponsors, like, he didn't want anything on the ring or anything like that. So then he not only did we end up on KGLA, but lo and behold, that became syndicated on the America One network. So this was one step after the other. And then that leads into, like, you and I, we were talking in the beginning, FX, because I'm sure FX was like, you know, it's one thing to see a wrestling league with the fans, but okay, this is a television product already. Now we're interested, kind of thing. So, but no, this was definitely a fraternity we were in, my friend.
You know, that's such a great way of putting it, because I always try to describe to people what wrestling was like when I joined, and one of my favorite ways of putting it is, you know, I had to explain to my wife. She and I were actors. I became a host on a cable show, so I'm already not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you know, and I'm like, you know, I think this is like one of the most manly things I've ever tried to do, to join wrestling. And the way I described it, it was like a combination of the circus and a biker gang. And I was like, there's going to be leather jackets, there's going to be cigarettes, there's going to be, you know, there's going to be beer bongs, there's going to be all kinds of like craziness in my life. And I just wanted to warn you. And she's like, no, I get it. I wasn't quite at my midlife at this point. I was still a little young for that, but it was definitely a midlife crisis for me.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about, I never went away to college. I went to community college, and then I started going to CSUN, and then I moved back east to New York. And then when I came back, I did finish school, and I didn't go away for college or anything and live in a dorm, but I went to Cal State and just was living back home during that time. Finished up school, and I never had that fraternity thing. But then this 4 years, I would never trade just a regular college going away thing for this unique, completely off the wall, like a needle in a haystack, for someone to have this experience, you know.
Oh God, yeah.
Right.
No, take it from a guy who I did go to you know, not a huge college, but I went to a decent college, and I was a communications major.
Yeah, that's mine too. We parallel each other a little bit, John. We talked about this before, because I got into acting, I got into improv, and then I ended up a wrestling TV host. So yes, there you go.
And I got to tell you, out of all the things that I did really well in school, you were doing those things at XPW. You were hosting, you were writing, you were helping out here and there. You were, you know, you had a mind that could work on dialogue, and you had a mind that could word things better. You know, I love Rob. Rob is just such one of those great characters I've met in my lifetime. But somebody needs to dot the I's and cross the T's and get that message across. And you and Larry and Wantastico, you guys were all great at that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, man.
It was much needed.
I really appreciate that.
In
And you know what?
little...
I think Rob is actually look, I'll say it, man. Rob is actually very underrated for his. We know him as the owner. We know him for the bombastic, the controversy. We know all that. Headed up a porn company. We get that, but he's actually very underrated. Look, racism stuff aside, okay.
Yeah.
But there's humor in there. I'm sorry. There is. Whether it's right or wrong, it's he. With that aside, he had it, man. You like he had it, but like he could do those little office shticks. Some of them are damn good, and if you notice, that was like a Stanley Kubrick, one of those one takes. That was one take.
It was.
So yeah, that was one take. I mean, look, it wasn't you know, the 12 Angry Men or anything like, you know, a movie like that, or Gone with the Wind, but it was the dialogue wasn't quite as complex as, you know, those movies, but that was like the banter, the back and forth. There's something to be said for that, because we did do a lot of those vignettes, and as silly as they may be, we did them so they would tie into the storyline, and a lot of them it was like, okay, let's try it again, guys. Let's try it again, guys. Whereas at that one, you know, Rob was like, all right, just roll the camera. We'll figure it out. Boom. And they did it. You know?
Yeah. It's so funny because there are moments where you can see, you know, like if you're Kevin, you can see him kind of go up here to like the whiteboard in his head where he's got things written down, or he's writing things.
Right.
And speaking of improv, like he was improvising like a champ there, playing those characters, but also he creates that pattern of having it. I don't know if anybody, you know, that was never written down. That wasn't on a legal pad, you know? No.
Legal pad, right. You know, and that's funny. I remember him wearing that shirt. I'm probably going to see that in this episode. Whereas he really would like wear that shirt for the show here. But then, you know, later that night we were doing stuff, and when Larry and I would come into the office, it was just no cameras. Everybody's doing their stuff. Kevin just still has the shirt on, walking around the office. and you know, like I said, how the hell were we on TV? Because look, folks, yes, it was different back then. But I remember when that NC came on and that Sulu came on, we, even in that time, we're like, okay, dude, when are we going to get, the word wasn't, well, yeah, it would be canceled. Like the show would be canceled. We didn't have the word cancel culture back then, but the word was censorship back then. So like, and I think a lot of the reason we got away with a lot of this stuff was because culture has literally changed. In a lot of ways. I'm a complete independent. All right. Just to let you know, I don't even need to talk about my politics, but I don't vote left or right. I think they're both part of the problem. But anyway, I've always vote third. Now, having said that, the reason get to why I'm saying that was back then, when the porn movies would start up. Oh, look at this.
I mean, we've got a same-sex relationship right here on the screen.
We were ahead of our times. We were promoting, you know, all whatever your persuasion is, it's okay. Let's get some audio here, George, real quick.
Everything's gonna be okay. Man, I gotta do something about that guy. I'm here. Everything's gonna be good. Look around. No pogo. Okay. Okay.
Since I'm up.
There's a lump. There was a lump in the bed. So look, I don't know if you remember in the 90s, the whole like Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife. She was the head of let's get all this 2 Live Crew porno movies, and that was coming from oddly enough, that was coming from the left at the time. She was an exception. However, the Democratic platform at the time, the liberal platform at the time, was very much, hey, we don't like Howard Stern, but he has the right as a liberal. We want to promote the ultimate freedom for everybody. So porno rode that wave. And in the beginning of all the porno movies, it was like fight for your right for the First Amendment, and they would wave the flag and all that. And this was pushed primarily by the left at the time, and it was aside from Tipper Gore, it was the conservative right wing religious right that was pushing for all this censorship, right?
Yeah.
So you had the NC thing, you had the Sulu thing. Yes, and a liberal wouldn't generally like seeing that, okay? But they were the ones, again, we don't like this, but we are fighting for the right to have the freedom to do all this. So now culture has flipped a little bit, where for whatever reason now the right is promoting freedom and of all this stuff, and the canceling is coming from the other side that used to be more for putting this out there. So the culture was different, and it was dark, it was gritty, but the whole political spectrum was completely switched. And Rob was an advocate for the left at this time because of he wanted no censorship, right?
That's right.
You're right. So today he would be the opposite, because it fits whatever, whichever way the wind's blowing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now it's very interesting to point that out, because that is primarily why I think we got away with a lot of this stuff. Being a Los Angeles-based company in a very politically blue area, it was all about that at this time. It was all about the freedom to have. Howard Stern did the whole, like, when he did his parades, he would have like the flag marching with, because he was all about the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And the media, right, would back him up as far as that goes. So completely different world we're living in. Not only, like you said, it was a darker time, it was a rebellious time and all that, but it was also politically, it was different. So I'm sure young people watching this, how the hell were they on TV at this time? Well, it was so different, it was so different.
It was a time in which you had to protect not only what you wanted to say. Do you want to go to this?
No, I just remember I did such a I would be so careful, because I would come into the office with shorts and sandals on, and they wouldn't go down, and they freaking went down. I remember being so pissed right there. And they got my sandals, they got my shorts, and I was like, I'm supposed to look important here, but no. We played up my acne. I had a big ass zit right there, so we're like, we got to play this up. That thing's like Rudolph on your chin, And so I'm like, all right, let's do it. And I, boom, boom, boom.
You're so right about politics, especially in the 90s, because a lot of what people recognize now is like establishment, that was a very big piece of the 90s. Bill Clinton was president, and he had an illicit affair. I don't even have to say allegedly, with an intern. And it was like the parent people, because the wife of the vice president, Tipper Gore, had the parent, the PMRC, but they were the nannies. That's, a lot of people recognize that. There was a long period of time where the people on the left were like the finger waggers, and you don't you say that, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But they did understand that a constitutional right to free speech exists. And I also want to throw in one thing that Larry Flint used to say, and that was, you can't judge me for bad taste.
Ah, yes, that's a good one, man.
You know, that's not a crime. Bad taste is
Yeah.
not a crime.
That's
And
a
I
good
feel
one.
like Rob really rode that horse. You know,
Oh my gosh, did he ever? Did he ever? Devastation, by the way, I want to say these guys were Devastation Incorporated in the Global Wrestling Federation, the GWF, when they were on ESPN. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comments below, but I want to say they were in GWF. Remember that on ESPN back in the early 90s at the Sportatorium in Dallas.
the Sportatorium. Oh, I love the Sportatorium.
By the way, this is Uncle Paulie, right? This is the mob boss.
Yeah.
And this guy was a legitimate actor. He was in the opening scene in Beverly Hills Cop when Axel was doing the deal in the cigarette truck in the very beginning of Beverly Hills Cop.
No
And
kidding.
funny story, I was watching some old reruns the other day, and I'm watching an episode of Knight Rider, and then bump a bump. Oh, that's Uncle Paulie. There he is. You know, he was in a ton of stuff, you know.
Was this during the like first season or so of Sopranos, and it was like a really big deal, maybe?
Did Sopranos already air in yeah, maybe it did in 2000, right?
I feel like maybe it came out in you know, your real late 1990s.
Right.
Like
You're right. You're right.
your
You're right. I'm
98 or
sorry.
your 99 maybe, and it was a big hit.
Oh my God.
WCW would do a thing stealing like some FBI guys from ECW. And
Well, I don't know. You might be right on one hand, but I know Rob himself was always about Mr. Mafioso exuding that stuff. So he loved all that Italian mob, blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
He being from the East Coast himself. By the way, Crack, one of the best, he had me as his best man at his wedding, man.
I had no idea.
Yeah, back in the day. And let me just tell you this about Crack's sense of humor. So, what did he say? He said, when I pulled up to the church, it was a Baptist church in Inglewood, and I pull up the night before for the run-throughs, right? And I'll just paint the picture by saying this. I get out of the car. There's some people there like, oh, wondering who I am. And then Crack walks out of the church. He goes, hey, everybody, don't worry. That's the best man. That's Kris. If it ain't white, it ain't right. Bye. I was the only white guy, right? So and everybody else, like, I'm waiting for everyone else to like maybe laugh, and everyone's like,
because it's a wedding. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not really a rowdy thing.
and he goes, and in front of everybody, he goes, hey, Kris, I didn't think you're gonna be the only marshmallow in the bowl of charcoal. I'm getting there, just starting to try to make my good impression with everybody, and this is how he introduces me to everybody.
You're meeting parents and
Yes.
aunties and uncles. You're meeting like all these people who need like some respect, and you've already been painted stark white.
Right. We didn't have to go there, especially that fast. We didn't have to get there.
Can I say though, it can be so liberatingly funny. I worked for a wrestling company called Comptomania.
Yes, right.
And because I had friends
Yeah.
there, and they were like, "Oh, you know, John knows what he's doing, and he'd be a good manager, and you know, a good mouthpiece for a bunch of these guys." And so I created a character. I don't know if you remember Dwight Privilege.
Yes. Yeah.
And when everyone would call me Dwight Privilege,
Yes.
I'd get all mad. But I would introduce myself to everybody. Hi, I'm John. I'll be Dwight Privilege tonight.
Yeah.
And they're like white privilege? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. And they're like, oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Once you're in the back in the locker room, all bets are off, all gloves are off, because it's all about creativity. And
Yeah.
look, wrestling at its core is about, okay, how are we going to get over for them to love you, for them to hate me, for them to hate me, for them to love you? So it's all bets are off. That's what we are doing back there.
That's
So
right.
yes, you're right. When you were back there, I remember, dude, like growing up in LA, and in the early 90s, tensions were high and all that with the riots. I remember like being in the back in the locker room, and it was just like you said, it was beautifully liberating to the point like everybody's background, racial, religious, whatever, was completely out the door. Oh, we're just a bunch of guys that get and love wrestling.
Yeah.
Dude, this is awesome. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I'm not white. You're not black. You're not. We're just wrestling guys. Like, this is
Right.
so freaking cool. And you really did feel that in the back, man.
Yeah.
And
We had LGBT people who were treated great there.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was like one of the few places they were treated great.
Exactly.
And, you know, a lot of it has to do with, yes, we all have to get along and we all have to work together to make this successful. But it's wrestling. We also have to trust each other.
And I think that in itself, like that, a fraternity of like being back there and feeling that, at least for me, and I know I can speak for others, is that once you feel like, whoa, we're not our race, our religion, or anything, we're just wrestling guys, that automatically made it so there was no division. It was just automatic. We're now just our self that loves the little kid that we were growing up. We all get to be that back here together. So there's now divisions can't occur because there's no way for them to come in now because we're operating from this. Really, it was a higher level of consciousness.
Yeah. I mean, you can throw all of that stuff out the window.
Yeah.
Because there's already a level of respect.
Yes.
And the respect is, I need you to be successful and I'm going to work really hard to make you successful. You have to do the same for me.
100%.
And this is what Dynamite D taught me that. Like all the acting I'd ever done, all the improv, all the team stuff, being on writing staffs and being in sketch groups and all of those things that I did. And no one had ever laid it out to me like the old school wrestler. There's Webb.
And Jessica.
Love Webb and Jessica.
Yes.
When it all comes down to we're trying to achieve greatness in this company, the only way we can do it is if we do it by pulling together.
Yeah.
And everything else is secondary.
Everything else is secondary. Yeah. And it was almost like when that world was done, when the show was over, it's like, oh, now I got to go back into this. Like everyone says wrestling is lowbrow, it's messed up, it's stupid, it's da-da-da, all the detractors. But we were operating in a higher level. Now the real world is like, oh, we got to go back to that.
Yep.
And again, wrestling is just this, it's its own category. You can't really compare it with anything else, right?
Right.
I said the three forms of sports entertainment in America. There's three forms. There's pro wrestling, there's roller derby, and there was the Harlem Globetrotters. Those are the three forms of sports entertainment, right? And when Hogan died just recently, we were talking about that and how it was a big loss because he was like the last big name, you know, from that era. Yeah. But the conversations then arose about, wow, look where wrestling became. And wrestling could have easily gone to the wayside in the same level as roller derby or Harlem Globetrotters. They're still around, but they're not big like the NFL, the NBA, right?
Right.
And anyway, that conversation came up with Hogan passing recently, but this weird world of sports entertainment, right? You could put in roller derby and the Globetrotters, okay. But there's really, other than that, there's no other, like, no one can relate to pro wrestling. Like if you can, like, okay, hockey, I don't quite get it, but I get boxing and football, so I can kind of get hockey now. Or I can get hockey now, but there's really nothing else to really compare wrestling to where, like, okay, I can kind of, you just know it's wrestling. And wrestling did bring everybody together, man. It really did. Everybody grew up in a different place, all that, but man, once we were in the back, dude, we were all the same. Yeah. Like we didn't have this identity of race and religion and all that stuff, income bracket, whatever. It just didn't exist.
Yeah. You bring it with you on like the tiniest level, you know, like if I ever tried to speak Spanish the Mexican guys would laugh right in my face.
Yeah.
You know, that is hilarious. You did that, but they didn't treat me like garbage. Like,
Right.
we were still buddies. You know, we were still working side by side.
Right.
And let's not forget, I love this about wrestling. I never want to forget this. And right now, it's so legit wrestling that I feel like people have forgotten the carnival.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
It got to the level, like, it was weird. Wrestling was always striving to get to that level.
yeah.
But now that it's there, you know, like it's part of, it was always the anti establishment entity, you know, and it was always the oddball thing to turn on TV.
Exactly.
And that, again, talking back like before, how the networks like didn't want it to be popular, you know. And now that it's kind of it's look, dude, in a way it's the equivalent of somebody selling out to the system. It's true. Like, it's part of the corporate entity now. And this, we couldn't have had this fun here, the little engine that could, which was what this league was.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been, whoops, sorry. It wouldn't have been, it just wouldn't have had that flavor.
It was a, you know, the way it is now, I think, is a good thing, because it means that a lot of network executives, a lot of executive producers, showrunners, writers, movie directors, like a lot of these guys were fans.
Right.
And a lot of them were fans in the Attitude Era, the black T-shirt era, I like to call it. And that makes it legit now. A lot of the big money guys, the guys, you know, driving this year's Porsche, those guys were wrestling fans.
Right.
So that's cool. But when you look at XPW, what you're looking at is the underground. You're looking at the resistance, frankly.
Yes.
And guys who are saying, like, okay, you've got this politically correct world you live in. We're trying to make everything equal for everybody. We're trying to make everybody, you know, respected and treat everybody nice. But not every moment of your life is clean. Right. Not every moment of your entertainment is classy. Sometimes you like the really hardcore, grungy stuff.
Yes.
And Rob Black was great at that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, with this was like WWE, WCW was like arena rock, and this was underground punk.
There you go. You go.
By the way, let's talk a little here. Now, this was MetalFest in San Bernardino.
Okay.
All the metal fans are there. KNAC, look at that, the banner and the little tent opposite Hardcam there.
Oh my God.
I was actually just looking up stuff on eBay, old KNAC stuff, and old KNAC stuff is actually worth a lot of money. Yes, and I'm wondering, like, if that's an OG banner, which I'm sure it was. Like, man, that thing would probably be worth something. But this was after we lost the LA Sports Arena, so this was November of 2000. We did this one-off show. And when Rob, to answer your question, John, from before, Rob was referring to, when he said Reseda, California, January, we ended up going to Birmingham High School in Van Nuys. Okay, now it was weird. They would refer to it as Reseda and Van Nuys because it was right on the border of Van Nuys and Reseda.
Right. I
don't think he was referring to that, because if you recall, the Reseda Country Club on Sherman Way in Reseda, which, by the way, we were going to arenas, and we have archived on here. I go take a tour of, which now is a church, the old, so go ahead and enjoy that, fans. It's on the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. Like, share, comment, subscribe, but go ahead, archive that if you want to see. I go into the Reseda Country Club. But anyway, right next door, which is now, they're going to try to preserve it, it's the Reseda Theater. And it's the one in the beginning of Boogie Nights where it says the word Reseda in neon. And they turned it on for the movie when they filmed it. And we were going to buy that. Rob was going to purchase that place.
I never heard that.
Yes, and make it the Reseda, the XPW Arena.
Yeah.
And nothing ever happened with that. That was the theater next to the country club. It's the one that says the word Reseda. That old marquee is still on there because it's historic now.
Right.
But I don't trust any of that with all this place closing in LA, the Pantry and all that. I don't even trust any of that anymore.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas is like every last hotel is gone now. But anyway.
Oh, it's huge how things are getting wiped out. Yeah.
Yeah. So that receipt is still there. They're going to preserve it. They're going to do something right now to it and preserve it. But that was going to be the XPW arena. There were a lot of ideas, and then of course the not happening was the Onita match.
Right. Right.
Yeah, the Onita match. So unfortunately, there are a lot of things that didn't end up happening.
At this point, and especially based on the scenes that were in the opening to the show open, I feel like there's a lot of shots of Onita, and that they thought that was still going to happen.
Go ahead and continue. I'm gonna one sec, guys. Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
It's
continue.
Funny. Yeah, no problem, man. Hey, this is what I do. When I was on, I was in the wrestling school, the XPW Asylum, and there had been a couple of classes before the one that I was in. So there were a lot of upperclassmen, guys much younger than me, but they were the ring crew, they were security, they did all this stuff. And, I'm quite a bit older than they are, but I knew, hey, if you're going into a new environment, you got to like be humble, let people tell you what to do, let people give you jobs. I had no problem doing that. Again, I'm an ensemble guy. My God, look at all the talent in this ring. You got Sabu, you got Big Dick Dudley, you got Messiah. I don't know that cat. Oh my God. Anyway, I would hear about this show, but I wasn't necessarily doing ring crew and all of that stuff at this point because I was still on TV, and I kind of like, I don't know, should I be doing that? Eventually, it became clear to me that I needed to work with these guys. And so I needed to do what they did and live like they lived, which, again, was no sacrifice. I was happy to do it. Big Dick Dudley got the goozle on Rob Black. Oh, throwing the arm over. Man, that is a sickening. I'd call that a choke slam, but I know there's all kinds of great names for that kind of move. Big Dick Dudley was a cool guy. I met him a couple of times at XPW events. He was always meeting me for the first time. He had no idea who I was. But he'd is that Cronus? Oh, I loved Cronus. See, now I'm from the Northeast. I grew up outside of Boston in the state of New Hampshire. And I love talking to Cronus because Cronus had a Massachusetts accent that would not quit.
Exactly. Yeah, Cronus. So I've got to say here, last most all these guys, Cronus, Big Dick, passed away years ago, but we just lost Sabu last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, I mean,
recently we lost Sabu.
Compared to the other guys from his generation, he was pretty long-lived.
Yeah, he was, man. I mean, you got to think when we just talk about these guys passing, it's not just like these guys, Big Dick and Big Dick Dudley and John Cronus. Boy, they passed a while ago now, man.
Yeah, it was. It was so sad too, because when you know them, like they're so powerful. They're these big, powerful dudes.
Oh yeah.
And they've got these great stories. I loved when Cronus would come to town. I would usually be his driver.
Yeah.
And he would tell stories.
Yep. Yeah.
I arrived to pick him up at the airport the first time I met him. And I was late because traffic was crazy. It was a Friday afternoon. It was everything wrong about driving down from the San Fernando Valley all the way down to the airport. I get down to his his baggage claim. Basically, there's these two little old ladies sitting on a bench, and he's telling them some story, and he's acting it out. And he's like a dancing bear. He's like entertaining these two little old ladies. I'm like, that's the tough ass wrestler, John Cronus.
Yes.
But He was such a sweetheart.
Oh
He,
yeah.
he just loved to entertain people.
Yeah, he was. You talk about being a little kid at heart. My goodness, he was.
Yeah.
He was like the poster child for that.
Yeah. Like
um.
Big Dick Dudley was a pretty serious dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
He
know,
was.
and had a lot of implied threat
Right.
to him, and we all respected that about him. Of course you do.
So
essentially-
I remember this MetalFest show. There was a problem with the band. They started playing during the match, and then they went up to the stage because they were like, "Screw these guys. Let's go F them up." And then the lead singer, this guy was like 7 feet, dude. But they still they approached him. This was not supposed to happen. They started playing because they were, and the wrestlers felt disrespected. We did. Why are they playing now? They're not supposed to go on yet.
Yeah.
And look at that guy, dude. He's like, who is that guy, man? He should be a wrestler, dude.
He's gigantic.
He's huge, dude. And so they start like getting on stage, and then this happened. They're like, okay, we're all cool, da 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 da. Like they ended up giving each other the respect, and then it kind of melded into this match.
Yeah.
Where it was like they were kind of pissed at each other, but they were kind of cool with each other at this point.
It's two bands of warriors. They're going to have to bash each other in the head to have fun, you know?
Right.
It's very Valhalla.
Yeah. There you go, man. Yeah. So this is, again, look at this, man. This was like a punk rock show with XPW. Like, how fitting were we in this world? It was like, and there were like these fans that we thought, okay, these were all like rock fans, like punk fans, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, death metal, whatever this was, death metal. And then at ringside, they all knew like the storyline. They all knew what was going on. So it was like there was a crossover. And then we're like, hey, guys, why are we surprised? Again, television. We're on here in San Bernardino. We're on and it was like we were on that lineup with WWE, Velocity, and then XPW, and then ECW at midnight, 10, 11, and 12. Like how perfect was that to be on? So we had, and wrestling, like you said, was on fire at this time. So the ratings were high, dude.
Yeah.
Like we probably got better, like when Wrestling Society X, like the ratings were shit because they put us on against WWECW, and wrestling wasn't as hot. I bet you, I don't know what the official numbers are for XPW, but I guarantee you there were more eyeballs on this at that time from a locally syndicated cable channel than it was for MTV. I bet you. Because it was just, wrestling was just so freaking big at this time, man.
I know you're right, too, because we also have to remember this is pre-DVD. This is pre-digital. So everything's VHS.
Right.
And there's a huge tape trading community. Like people forget that about the 90s. But like there were guys watching wrestling from all over the world because you could trade tapes with other dudes. You know, and so a lot of people may not have even known how to find it on their TVs, but they were getting the tapes.
Yes.
Because they didn't want something to happen that they didn't know about. And that's something I love about wrestling fans,
Right.
It's like, what is Sabu doing right now? He's in XPW. Well, I have to see that. I got to witness that. I got to be part of that. And there is a huge crossover between metal, punk, grunge, all the things that were still really impressive and really cool in the 90s. One of my favorite eras, honestly.
A great example of that grunge world and wrestling was in XPW. The greatest example is Homeless Jimmy and his music and his Pearl Jam. Metallica.
Yeah.
Wherever I roam,
Yes.
And it was like a rock, grunge rock, that early 90s kind of vibe. It was just that said it all right there. And it was like that song was so big, it was so meaningful, it
Yeah.
was so new and different, and the what that song was about. And then the guy is going to represent that and come to the ring with a shopping cart. Like, this is badass, dude. That's why Jimmy was so over. I
Oh
mean,
man.
one of the reasons he was so over was
Yes.
just like, and then he just played it perfect, you know. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, his use of all of the, you know, the head scratching with the lice, and you know, the torn plaid, the torn flannels, and oh god, he was so great.
And his you know, his post traumatic tick, you know.
I love it. I love it. He did such a great job with that gimmick. But you know, that was another thing that was great about XPW, was I always loved the gimmicks.
Yeah, the gimmicks in the storyline, and then it always made sense what was happening week to week because of TV. So
Yeah.
I think, you know, TV is what made, in a way, this league was made already, but TV made this league because it kept us on our toes. We had to keep developing these storylines, these gimmicks. We had to keep doing it because we had to be on next Saturday night.
That's
if
right.
we weren't, if we weren't on television, you're very easy to get lazy with all this stuff.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and it happens constantly. It happens all the time, especially in the indies.
Yeah.
Where somebody, I mean, hell, I was a promoter for 1 year. 1 year. But I did work with a lot of guys who wanted to do creative.
Mm-hmm.
We had a good writing staff.
Sure.
They would come to my house, everybody crowded around my dining room table, and we would, you know, pitch stories, pitch wrestlers, try to come up with you know, what's a wrestler going to go through for 3 months, you know, for 4 months, like, and make sure that we did enough shows. I think we did 10 in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, these guys are hotter than a $2 pistol.
Yeah.
This is,
I forget who that. This is Gurentai.
Gurentai.
Nosawa and Kikosawa. These were the guys. I remember he came in, Nosawa in the back, and he gifted Rob with this beautiful box, and it had a bottle of whatever liquor it was. It was a very expensive bottle of liquor, and it was like the bowing. It was all about like gifting your employer, your boss, your king, or whatever. You know, it was very old school, these guys were. They literally, this was not part of the show. When I say in the back, this was just like, they arrived, they came from the airport, and they, here you go, Mr. Black, and they bowed, and they really, because that was the custom.
That was the custom. That I was there. I was actually that was at Funk You, I believe.
Yeah, Go Funk Yourself right there.
Go Funk Yourself. Thank you. And I was essentially Rob's like valet for that show. I didn't walk out with him, but I always had his jacket. I had his wallet. I had, like, you know, the stuff that you know, he wasn't going to trust anybody, but he would trust the guy who had a TV show.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, let's get a little volume here. I just want to see what we're pissed off about here, George.
A lot of emotions.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we missed it.
You Chico.
I don't care, man. I don't care.
I'm going to call the doctor for you. Is there a doctor in the house? People, the brains. Fans, stay tuned next week. Make sure to stay tuned next week, because we are going to have all of the information about the big XPW return. January 13th. That's a Saturday night. January 13th in Reseda, California. It's going to be a New Year's revolution.
Cheers? And what's a new jeer?
I always loved your partnership with Larry.
Oh, it was the best, man. That was so great working with him, dude. And again, none of that was scripted. It was just like, I mean, the stuff we had to do was the matches, whatever, you know, just remember the bullet points and fill in the blanks. That was
right.
And that was, again, talking about Rob, and like one thing you could say about him is like, guys, you go do you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was just so fun. So much fun.
He really had that like auteur idea. You know, he was trying to think about every part of the show. He wanted everything to be consistent in spirit and you know, in tone.
Sure.
You know, and that's so important to have. Like
Yes.
sometimes people will hear the phrase showrunner, and I don't know. I mean, on a big show, that's a big job.
Yeah.
But on a small show, that's a really big job too, because what you've got to do is make sure that every camera crew knows how to shoot, because you're not always there.
Right.
You got to make sure that everybody knows their bullet points. I mean, that's one of the great secrets of improv is,
Yeah.
you know, you make up bullet points as you go. A lot of times, sketch comedy, a lot of times you don't need a script for sketch comedy, as long as you've got good bullet points. And that was something everybody was really good at it.
Yeah. That's how we operated. That's it. That's how we operated. Again, I don't want to harp on Wrestling Society X too much, but the experience that we had there was like, okay, on one hand, wow, this is big time MTV, all these different cameras, these cranes coming in and all this stuff,
Yeah.
the set. But like something was missing. The freedom of just like it was scripted, dude.
Yeah.
It was like we had to say my paragraph. Brett Ernst had to say his paragraph. I had to say mine. And even calling the matches, they were so quick. We had to get everything in that there wasn't this free form being ourselves. It just wasn't, man. And a great experience. I'm not not saying that, but this was just a different animal, dude, that you're only going to be privileged enough to have that experience of just it was really freedom of expression. It really was, man.
Yes. Coming right back to that, but it's true.
Yeah.
Because the idea is it's in the moment. And this is kind of a silly old hippie thing to bring up, but I am old enough to bring that up, which is there was that old idea of the happening.
Yes, right.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
And wrestling was so good at that because, you know, look, Wrestling Society X, that absolutely should have happened. They should have tried that out. It should have been an experiment. And this show kills me.
What did it say on it? What did it say on his?
Oh, I missed it. I missed it.
Okay, all right.
It's just like there was a reveal.
Right.
You know, it's like, of course there was a reveal. I love you know, and I always loved Billy. I always loved Liz.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
you know, that was an awkward little moment because you know Rob was recording right there. And then I get the little kiss, like, okay. I almost could see in Billy's face, like right like okay, you know. Because you know Rob's recording that, you know.
It's so what a tough needle to thread.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah. Jeez, dude, right. I would not. Yeah, no. But
I interrupted myself. I'm sorry. I'll just finish this point, which was, you know, the great thing about wrestling is there's not a lot of cutaways normally.
Right.
It's not edited. When they do edit, the audience feels it.
Sure.
It's like, oh, wait, no. This is not how wrestling is. Wrestling is bell to bell, you know, entrance to exit.
Yes.
There's a beginning, a middle, end to how wrestling works. And if you try to manipulate that, it's not the same thing.
Right.
But, you know, Wrestling Society X, Lucha Underground, you know, these TV shows are not bad TV shows.
No, right.
They're still worth watching.
Yeah.
But, you know, wrestling's often an extension of the live experience. And it's not a great idea to take the live experience out of it. Yeah.
Everything that you said about those shows, Underground and Society X, there was, you just knew, like when it started and you're a part of this big giant thing, you just knew that like rogue Rob Black kind of world was just not possible.
Right.
Yeah, you just knew it. And before we even got started with the pilot, you just knew it's like, okay, this is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that's just for better or for worse, it could unfortunate at times, you know.
There's a big problem in our lives with gatekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
And television is so drowning in money, you know, and not a lot of it. So everybody's fighting over a pretty small pie.
Sure.
And all the guys at MTV and MTV2, I mean, come on, let's be serious. You guys are on MTV2. And those guys are like, no, I got to prove myself. And they do it through control.
Are you talking about Wrestling Society X on MTV2?
Were you guys on MTV?
Oh no, we were on MTV. The reruns may have been on MTV2 or whatever, but no, that was MTV. That was MTV, and it was yes, 100%. Yeah, no, it was. But you're right. When they started rerunning them, it was on MTV 2 or 3, all that.
I think that's where I've seen them, yeah.
And we found out, like, after it got canceled, we found out that the reruns on MTV 2 or 3, whatever, in Australia was like #1.
Oh my God.
It was like, yes, it blew up. I actually got recognized when I went to Rome, Italy. I went to Europe. When I was in Rome by the Coliseum, some guy, hey, can you take my picture? He freaking recognized me. I thought, okay, XPW, but no, it was Wrestling Society X. This was in 2007, and then this was at a time when wrestling was just hot in Spain and Italy when the Ultimate Warrior did his thing with Orlando Jordan over there. Oh, so yeah, it was hot, and it was. And I remember telling Kevin all that, and he's like, and he told me like, oh yeah, and then we talked about the Australia thing, like, and then he was telling me like, you know, had the execs known how big it would have been over there, like it would have been a different story, but it's done now, you know, all that. But yeah, no, when that started, yeah, I was on MTV1. But yeah, going back to the good point with the gatekeepers, because that's all they were. They were just the network. That's all they were, was the gatekeepers. Because they didn't produce the show. They chimed in when they wanted to, but it was always to disaster when they did, because they didn't get wrestling. But yes, there were no gatekeepers in XPW. There was no. The gate was unlocked, dude.
This is why I say, and I'll say it again because I hope Rob Black hears it at some point. Auteur. A Hitchcock film is a Hitchcock film. You know, a George Lucas film, a Steven Spielberg film. Those have the flavor of the guy in charge.
Right.
And when you get a committee together, and I can tell you from the X show. That show went so hard down the tubes when they tried to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up cutting off everything that everybody liked about the show. It just became this total waste of space on their schedule. What was funny was they wanted to replace all the hosts, which they eventually did. And I got replaced as a host by not Bert Kreischer. He replaced one of the other guys. I got replaced by Kevin James's brother, Gary Valentine.
Okay.
Who's a sweet guy. I got nothing bad to say about Gary. But then they hired me back to do features. Because I'd always been a producer and a writer behind the scenes.
Sure.
And I was making more money.
Wow. You're right. There you go. Yes.
Working fewer hours, making more money because of the gatekeepers, the stupid gatekeepers.
Right.
They had me already. They could make me do anything for that salary. But once they took that salary away, I charged them for every second I worked for them.
There you go. Good for you, brother. Yeah, good for you. And then they did it to themselves. So, you know,
there's not a lot of great stories out of cable. There's one.
Yeah. Dude, John, well, speaking of cable, that was XPW TV episode 34 from December of 2000. And man, cable, KGLA here locally, and then America One Network nationwide. Not every pocket got us. Like, we'd be on in Cincinnati, but we wouldn't in Boston. We'd be on in Nashville, but we wouldn't in Birmingham. Like, you know, so it was spread out.
Kind of classic how syndication gets done.
Yeah. But man, that was it, guys. We saw some hilarious stuff. We saw some cool stuff. some of our old friends that unfortunately aren't with us anymore, which you actually, John, got to partake in the XPW 2.0 era, call it, with the Cold Day in Hell and XPW X.
Yeah.
A 10-year anniversary in 2008 and 9. But in 2008 was a very successful show produced by Big Vision Entertainment, which was the test run for our monthly pay-per-views. So it did very well. And then that was when the crash of 08 happened and Big Vision itself downsized. Bad timing. Yeah, bad timing on that one, because that show was a success according to Rick in Houston, who ran Big Vision. They were very pleased with the show and they were excited to get something going again. So, yeah, man, because that show you saw, it was a damn success. That show,
it was huge. What a big
huge,
successful show. Yeah,
and the DVD distribution through Big Vision, all that. But that was the show where we honored, who just recently passed away, Dynamite D at the time. And we had the Dynamite D and Fallen Stars of XPW battle, a tribute memorial battle royal, which Eddie Carnage ended up winning. Dee's mom was ringside, all that. But yeah, you got to be one of those guys that honored, which is a lot of the guys we saw in this episode that we lost. But Sabu recently lost him, so rest in peace. But man, dude, you were great to go down this rabbit hole with, John. You always are, man. You always, talking to you is just great, because the comedic mind, all that good stuff, dude. And also it's very interesting talking with you with how we kind of parallel each other with our own individual experiences with television, and bringing that to you fans, XPW fans, and lifting the veil a little bit for you guys. So if there's anything else you want us to talk about, hit us up on the comments below. But John, man, thank you again. And before we go, my friend, any shout outs? How can we find you on social media? And are there any plugs you would like to give us right now?
Thank you so much for this opportunity, because I have a YouTube channel called Weber Internet Thingy. And it is, for all intents and purposes, it is a network. And we do several kinds of shows, 3 a week right now. And the newest show that we introduced was Match Callers. And thank you, George. So coming up this week is going to be, I think, our 5th episode of Match Callers. And all we do is just exactly what you do on this show, Kris. We watch a match, usually like 17 to 20 minute kind of match, and do an interview with my guests. My guests on this upcoming one are American Oni and Pris.
Oh, cool.
Two great wrestlers who we will be watching an Adrian Street match versus Bill Dundee. And that's from Memphis, from way back in the day, I think mid-'80s. But Oni and Pris are very much the modern Adrian and Linda Street. And can I just say, I bought my tights off of eBay from a really lovely couple of Adrian and Linda Street.
Wow.
They made my tights.
Dang, that's awesome.
And
Adrian Street was one of the he was the original Gold Dust.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And because he had that whole thing of like, I cannot help it that you're attracted to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the character Mango on Saturday Night Live was actually a ripoff of Adrian Street.
Wow. See, wrestling just doesn't get the credit. No.
Wrestling is part of the bloodstream, man. It's part of the bloodstream of pop culture, whether people admit it or not. And a lot of the matches that we watch are like Gorgeous George matches.
Oh,
or
cool.
Like Dusty in his first 10 years, like really old stuff. We had Giant Baba versus Harley Race for a championship match. I watched that with Sexy Chino, who was the living inspiration for Sulu.
Oh, wow.
Rob would yell at Sexy Chino, "Do a good job, Sulu." And then eventually Sulu became a character on the show.
Right, right. And then the odd thing was there were two Sulus. There was Sexy Chino, and then there was Sulu, NC's buddy, right there. There was so it was a very confusing world. This XPW, we couldn't.
Very confusing world.
I wonder if Rob created the little doll Sulu to make Chino jealous. I wonder if that is.
And there's Sexy Chino. He's like, how do I get that guy's spot?
Right. Damn it, he's taking my spot, man. Oh my gosh. Well, dude, that sounds so interesting, man. I always loved Adrian Street hit song. There's awfully something strange about the cowboy. Remember that one?
His life was art, man. That was another thing that I loved about some of those old guys. You know, the guy was just art.
Yeah,
everything he did.
Dude, that guy is underrated in the scope of like one of the guys that never made, like he was young enough in the early like Hulk rock and wrestling days.
Yeah.
He was like, and WCW was getting big. He was like the one guy, like the best guy in some ways that never made it to one of the big leagues. But was this match with him and Lawler, was this in the TV studio match when they were in the TV studio? And then Adrian Street's running around doing that and then sticks his tongue out.
Yeah, he did a lot of
like
work
trying
in
not to lie. Okay, I know that match so well, dude. That was so great, dude. It was just like, and the audience was just old school kayfabe audience, but they couldn't help to just laugh at this. Is great, dude,
Memphis, Tennessee. I'll tell you, one of the greatest matches I ever did was up in Bakersfield. It was for a company called Elite Pro Wrestling, and Patrick, the ref, Patrick Hernandez was our ref, and I was doing the semi. So it was a big match, and it ended with a really big, crazy bump where basically I'm trying to give a guy a superplex off the top turnbuckle, and he turns it around, he bumps on me. And then I just remember Patrick like running up and like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I'm good, man. And he's like, "This was like Memphis 1985.
Oh, that's beautiful, man.
And I don't think I've ever gotten as good a compliment on a match as that.
And who better to get a compliment from the one of the great refs of all time, Patrick Hernandez, that we are privileged enough to know and have worked with.
Wonderful guy.
But John, this has been we could go on and on, my friend. And,
yes, we could.
And we should. But yes, folks, check out that Weber internet thingy, man. That sounds awesome. I'm going to be checking that out myself. And
yeah, by the time people will see this show, that one will, because we do it live, but that one will have been up for a little while.
Awesome.
So you can catch that one, then hopefully catch the next one after that, because it's a relatively short show. It's
and we'll throw a link down as well for you fans in the descriptions. Weber internet thingy. John, thank you so much, man. This has been nothing but a blast, my friend.
Absolute pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much, Chris.
The honor's all mine, my friend. Always good to see you. And thank you, fans. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I want to say like XPW TV, but for checking us out right here on the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. Once again, thank you so much. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Xtreme Memories right here on the 15th and the 30th of every single month. For my guest, the Stepfather, John Weber from Weber Internet Thingy. My name is Kris Kloss, and we'll see you on another episode, on the next episode of Xtreme Memories.